Wow, I am completely blown away. Overwhelmed is an understatement. It's about 4 hours since I've publicly announced my retirement to the internet, to the world. In this video, I'm going to talk to you, to the camera, all the details. You know, my retirement video on my main channel was, I just wanted to make something really sort of mini documentary style, like powerful, inspirational, just an amazing overview of my career, our thoughts, and you know, in this video, I'm going to dive deep, dig into all the details that, you know, if you're interested and you want to know, keep watching this video. By the way, this is my second channel. The creation of this second channel is really sort of aligned with my retirement. I think, you know, Nile, the YouTuber, I'm the gymnast guy, and I built that through gymnastics. So this place, I just want to be able to creatively express myself for being me, for sort of the next chapter. And obviously I'm still going to be creating epic content on the main channel, but yeah, subscribe, it's completely free, you can change your mind at any time. So where do I start? The turning point was the neck. I last competed at the 2018 Commonwealth Games, and at this competition, I felt unstoppable. Literally, like I could do it, I felt like God. That was the strongest version of Nile Wilson. Physically and mentally. I mean, physically, I had a little injury in my hand, I still managed, and that was part of it as well. I wasn't even doing all round. Going into that, I managed to put together a pommel routine and ended up winning the all-round. I scored an 8-6 all-round with a 12 on pommels, which is ridiculous. So at that point, I was like, and my team and everyone around me, and probably you guys and everyone was like, this kid's gonna do it. He's gonna go all the way to Tokyo as his time. And I felt it mentally. I was just, and sort of from that point, incrementally, things just started to just take a turn. You know, I first hurt my neck a couple of months after the Commonwealth Games in training, doing a front rise double back on P-bars, Dimitrenko. Felt it go, and I think this was the first stage of my bulging disc. So not a lot of you know this, so like mid sort of June 2018, that's when I first had the incident with my neck. Couldn't train for a while, horrendous pain. Like the pain with the neck has been all neural, so like the disc has been on nerves, which has just been horrific pain. Those that have experienced sort of neural back trauma, and it's horrendous. All pain is horrendous, but this in particular, because it doesn't necessarily go away. When a disc is on a nerve, it's on it. So your brain's like, this hurts all the time. I had an epidural injection a couple of months later. I sort of got back into training. I was really black. My hand was better as well. I was going into the 2018 World Championships as ready. And the team knew at that point, you know, I was strong. I was on it. It took me a while to get there, but things had just started to pull together. 2 days before we flew, I snapped ligaments in my finger in a control competition at Wilsonator, which was just like another one, like another test, another smack in the face, another test. But I remember crying my eyes out all the way driving home from Wilsonator, and they might have sent me, maybe, you know, I didn't know whether I could still maybe do it. I packed my bag in the hall, in the flat, and then we called, you know, the head coach and the doctor and stuff, and decided, especially if you don't go. I mean, at that point, I think if you'd have seen me in that competition, that would have probably been the best gymnastics I've ever done. And you know, who knows, you know, currently the two Russians are just sort of the 1 and 2 in the world. I believe that could challenge them. And I think I'm going to tell you this whole story, but that's probably the most heartbreaking thing for me. One, like not competing, never really getting that feeling again, because it's you can't replicate it. It's ridiculous, man. And it's same as being a pop star, an athlete. I got to experience what that feels like in front of the crowd, the accolade, the event, the big moment, and do it, you know, perform after you've been training your whole life. So I miss that, but I think the heartbreaking thing for me is not fulfilling my potential. And maybe my potential was never, you know, I do think things happen for reasons, and this is why we're sat here, and it was important that I didn't for other things coming up in the future. But at that time, following from the Commonwealth Games and that World Championships, I felt like I could be a world champion, be an Olympic champion, all round. You know, I could beat those Russian lads, and you know, everyone around me probably knew my potential, and it was really exciting. And it's just a shame that I will never really fulfill that anymore. So listen, February 2019, that's when the disc completely knackered, herniated out, ripped in half. I had the disc replacement, they did perform surgery. My discs pulled out, metal plates put in, a cage is screwed to my spine. Then your spine sort of The fusion is all your bones like naturally grow together. After the fusion, that was like when my mental health took a turn, like really huge tipping point. Those following months after that, I'm not going to talk about this in video because you hopefully watch the documentary. Bad few months, bad. I got back, it was about 3.5, 4 months later. Jake Timothy, my surgeon at the time, he was like, look, this is going to be at least 6 to 12 months for fusion to happen. He booked in a scan, I think 3.5, 4 months after surgery to see how it was getting on. Anyway, I'm a medical marvel. My spine had achieved full fusion. I was fully fixed. So he's like, structurally, Nile, you can do whatever you want now. That spine is solid. Which, you imagine what my brain was doing at that point. I was still in pain. Like, the nerve damage has memory, and I was still in a lot of pain, but I was like, I can do all here and I'm not really causing much damage to my spine. So I was like, boom, rushed back. The first trial for the World Champs that year were in end of August. So I'm going to do it. Initially we were going to do 2 or 3 pieces. Then we got closer and closer and just started to progress, and the more, like, you can imagine what I'm like. I'm hungry. I don't just want to go to the World's trial after having neck surgery and just show up. Like, I want to win, and that was part of my nature. That's a trait of any of the best athletes in the world. Like, we compete to win. So I wanted to rock up and I wanted to just prove it. And part of my sort of real big value is swimming against the tide. I kind of love it when someone tells me I can't do something. So I was like, fuck this. Like, 5, 6 months after spinal surgery, I'm going to rock up to the first world trial and I'm going to win all round. Like, you imagine the upset. But that was what was fueling me and keeping me going. And then basically, in hindsight, it was too much. It was too quick. The week of that first trial, I then did my shoulder in. Now, this injury was a complete game changer for me mentally. Damaged a lot my long thoracic nerve, which comes from the point, if you do your research, I believe, from C6, C7 in your neck, where I had fusion. What it supplies is your serratus anterior muscles that stabilise your shoulder. No idea what I did. No idea. Literally just finished gym one day that week. I had like bad shoulder pain. The next day, literally walked into the gym, told my coach, and couldn't do a handstand. Kicked up, just my arm collapsed. Basically, I assume it's just cut the supply of the muscle, and even still today, I'd take my top off and show you, it doesn't work. So, you know, this is a 1.5 years ago now, but the worst one. Zero pain, like literally I've not had a single speck of pain from it, which I'm grateful for. I think at the time I wanted more pain to sort of, you know, just to match my symptoms, but grateful I wasn't in pain. But it was even worse because my brain just didn't connect. My shoulder didn't work. Like, I'd gone from like having the most powerful, strong shoulders and muscles on the planet to this shoulder did not work. I could not do a handstand. So you imagine, put yourself there mentally. I was just completely fucked. And then, you know, with nerve damage, you can never, even specialists, they can never guarantee that anything, the supply comes back, your nerves rebuild. You know, they said after operation, when you scar, sometimes, even this neck scar's still numb. The nerve endings on your skin, they may come back, they may not. It's one of those with nerves. It might do, it might not. So that that was mentally tough for me. But we kept going. At the start of 2020, before COVID, I was like, I'm doing it still. I can do it. Like, I can go to the Olympics, win medal with half a shoulder. I can do it. Like, that's just part of my like narcissistic, like, nah, I'm doing it. Like, part of this journey, I'm sort of talking you through the turn of events. I left Leeds Gymnastics Club. The story isn't told on that, and I think it's going to be in my book coming out this year. That was tragic. It was tragic for everyone in myself, like really, really upsetting for me, and I'm not allowed to go into detail, unfortunately, but that was a turn of events. So I kind of had to move to Manchester. That was a big change. And then COVID hit. So COVID hit, no Olympics. So straight away I'm like thinking, well, this is brilliant because it's more time for my shoulder to recuperate, the nerve to get the supply back. And I had Nile Gymnastics in Rotherham set up. So before anyone else, safely, I could train. Because I had my own gym, everyone was training at home and trying to do exercise outdoors. I was thinking, this is my chance to get ahead. And I pushed it, and I trained hard, and I was in incredible shape. Like, I might be able to ping up some images. I was fit. I started to change my habits. I felt good about myself. I started loving seeing the sort of the change, and my shoulder was making progress, you know, things were starting to happen. I got to about June, July, my neck started hurting again. What's this? My neck started hurting, and then it got worse again. Anyway, the standard protocol, they scanned me up again, and I have another bulging disc of the level above my surgery. So it's usually what things happen when you have fusion, that bit of your spine don't move, so it naturally puts pressure on above and below. So the level above, I think C5, 6, I had a bulging disc, similar symptoms. That point for me, to today, has been the transition into me retiring. I think when I got that phone call, I was like, look, it's not worth me potentially risking my livelihood. We're talking about a neck here, another bulging, another ripped disc, another surgery, 2 levels. The surgeon was like, by no means, you cannot now have another surgery. I can't do it to you, like, stop, basically. Because if you have another surgery, that's complications with your back for the rest of your life. And then, you know, when we're talking about neck, it's like, do I want to risk for an Olympic gold medal potentially being in a wheelchair and not being able to live my life and have, you know, throw my kids into the air and play golf and all of these things, make the videos that I do? There was a lot of period where I was talking about just doing one piece of apparatus, just doing high bar that I won my medal on, and as time went on, I knew it was my time. Everyone that's kind of, that had been, I got a lot of advice from ex-gymnasts, my teammates that retired, they just kind of said, now you'll know. And I did. And I felt it. And you know what, from end of August till almost Christmas, I did nothing. I did absolutely nothing. 0 training. And no movement and exercise and training, and gymnastics is something I absolutely need in my life, more so for my mental health. It was quite nice just to be normal for 4 months. And I drank wine every night, fell in love, met Emily, it was incredible, and it was tough, sort of making that decision. I'm not saying mentally I was stable throughout that whole process, because I absolutely wasn't. We kind of lined it up with commercial deals. Obviously signed with Gymshark, who were absolutely incredible. You know, they were all about content, and it's kind of the next chapter for me. I'm so excited to be able to dedicate more time to my business and the content side of things, because I've always been, you know, gymnastics has always been there. Like, I'm an athlete first. And I think it's pretty astonishing, like, what we've built when gymnastics, and I didn't always get this right, but gymnastics had to be my priority. Still around it all, I made all of those videos, you know, I did everything that we did, and I was training 3 to 6 hours a day on top of it. So I certainly know how to bust my bollocks off, and I think if I can apply the attention, the energy into the content, the entertainment, like revolutionising the sport, changing the game, building a gymnastics sort of gym business, franchising that out. I'm just really, really excited for the next chapter, and I feel ready. Today's been so emotional. It's been so emotional, and I cannot believe literally the amount of support and love and comments and the people and the messages, and it's just literally been, I only feel like we're literally just getting started. I feel like this is the starting point, and you know, probably the next couple of days I'll feel these emotions because they're real, and it's a big thing. It is very real now, announcing it. I didn't think I'd feel like this. Along the way, I just want to keep inspiring you guys. I also want to build that team of like-minded people that are entrepreneurial, that, you know, want to come on board. I think we're doing lots of exciting stuff with business, YouTube side of things. I mean, the collaborations and things that have just been epic in revolutionising that sport, and I think that's the next step for me. I can travel the world. I can go out to the Hollywood gang. I could go and meet all of these people around the world, because now I don't have a job. My job isn't an athlete anymore. I guess it's filming, not like doing this or, you know, the business. So it's cool feeling to be a free man. I think we can really make waves in the platform with the sport, because who doesn't want to do a backflip? Like, genuinely, who doesn't want to try one or learn it? And it's so entertaining to watch people go through that process. So yeah, listen, I feel like I've said everything I want to say. Hopefully I haven't missed anything. You know, I've said all my thank yous in my other vlog, like literally everyone around me, you know who you are. Please subscribe to my second channel. This is the Wilsonator. Join the Wilsonator Club, the link is in the description. We've got exciting things happening with that. I'm going to hit you with some epic content, man. Let's fucking go.